Hello, amazing entrepreneur. It's Tash Corbin here, and welcome to another episode of the Heart Centered Business Podcast. This is episode number 331, which means you can find all the relevant links and show notes for today's episode over at tashcorbin.com/331. And you're going to want to note that down because this episode is about how to make money without spending any. And I am giving you a free resource that used to only be available to people who purchased certain courses and programs of mine. I am opening it up to the public. This is your opportunity to grab it. So let's dive into today's episode. I'm Tash Corbin, and this is the Heart Centered Business Podcast. Okay, so I have 6 steps for you to make money without spending any. And as I said, today I am giving you a free resource that previously was only available to paying clients. So let's dive into how to make money without spending any. First and foremost, number 1 is check in with your mindset and beliefs about whether that's actually possible for you. Because first and foremost, you need to believe that you can make money without spending any. How many of us have heard the phrase over and over again, you've got to spend money to make money? How many of us have beliefs about all the things you need to have and need to buy and need to have in place before you're allowed to make money? So number 1, we want to make sure we're clearing out any of that junky mindset thinking that it's not actually possible, and look for evidence that it is possible. You can go and collect evidence by implementing the strategies that I'm sharing with you today. But if you don't even believe it's possible for you, then chances are the strategy that you choose isn't necessarily going to be optimized and you're not necessarily going to see the results. So first and foremost, mindset. Number 2 is remove all the self-imposed barriers that you've put between you and making money. When I ask people why they haven't made sales in their business yet, or why they haven't made any money this month in their business, they give me a list of self-imposed barriers. I don't have a website. You don't need a website to make money. I don't have all of my content mapped out for the month yet. You don't need to do that before you make money. I would focus on income generating activities first. I don't have a big enough audience. You don't need a big audience to make money, right? Look at what are all the reasons why you think you can't make money without spending any this week, and then set about removing those self-imposed barriers. If you have a reason why you cannot make money this week in your business, and when you dig in and you think, no, I definitely do, no, and you cannot find a way to remove that self-imposed barrier, I want to invite you to slide on into my DMs on Facebook or Instagram. I'll put the link in the show notes. I want you to direct message me, and I want you to tell me why you cannot make money this week in your business. If you've got a barrier between you and making money in your business and you cannot remove it, do you believe, no, actually, I definitely need this? I'm inviting you to send me a DM and say you've been listening to episode number 331 of the podcast, and here's the reason why you cannot make money right now. And I'm going to help you break through that barrier, because I believe that all barriers to making money this week are self-imposed. And I'm willing to be proven wrong. I'm willing for you to give me your butt tashes, but I'm also willing to, for free, help you remove those barriers, because I believe they all can be removed. Step number 3 is pick your niche. Pick your niche. Now, I know that there's a lot of niche resistance out there, and there are a lot of people who are still in selecting the perfect niche for their business right now. But if you want to make money without spending any and you want to make it quickly, just pick a niche for now, because your niche will change. And it is faster to make money picking the wrong niche and moving forward than it is to stay unniched and keep thinking you'll get it perfect eventually before you actually commit to something. So just pick a niche. Pick a niche. Now, if you need help in picking your niche, if you don't even know what a niche is or whether your niche is specific enough, I have a free niche training. So we'll link to that in the show notes of this episode with step 3 at tashcorbin.com/331. But pick a niche. Number 4, get clear on the offer. All right. Now, if you want to be able to make money without spending any, and you want it to be highly profitable and highly effective and make the money quickly, I recommend your offer be something that's delivered one-to-one with no pre-building of anything required, that has the highest profit margin, and you don't need to increase your reach to achieve it. And that's why I recommend something that's one-to-one, because one-to-one requires the least amount of reach And reach is the most expensive part of your marketing in your business. It's also the most time intensive. So rather than focus on selling something that requires a bunch of reach, i.e. put in a self-imposed barrier, instead focus on something you could sell immediately. And in most cases, it's one-to-one. You could sell an hour of your time. If you don't even know how you want to work with people, just sell an hour of your time. And if you're niched in what you're specifically helping people to achieve, then you will find that the hour of your time that you put up for offer is something that people actually want. So it doesn't have to be complex. You don't have to pre-write anything advanced. You don't need modules. You don't need pre-recorded videos. You don't need a website. You don't need a sales page. Just focus on an offer that you can sell immediately and deliver without having to build anything in advance. Number 5, focus on getting one-to-one leads. When it comes to your client attraction process, which is reach your ideal clients, nurture a relationship, generate leads, convert into paying clients, and then deliver with amazing epic value. When it comes to making sales without spending any money and making sales quickly, just focus on lead generation and conversion. Lead gen, conversion, lead gen, conversion. So many people are like, oh, I really want to make a sale this week. How do I reach as many people as possible? That's not where the sale is going to come from. The sale comes at the pointy end of the process, lead gen and conversion. You already have enough people in your audience to find leads. And I don't care how small your audience is, you actually have leads in there. Your job is to focus on high connection, high conversion lead generation strategies. And that brings me to point number 6, which is high conversion marketing strategies only. Do not focus on low conversion strategies like I'm going to run a 21-day offer or challenge, and at the end of the 21 days, then I'm able to make some money. 1, that's one of the lowest conversion things that you can do to get sales in your business. And 2, look at that 21-day barrier that you just put between yourself and making sales. High connection, high conversion is the way to go. Which brings me to the epic free resource that I have for you today. Now, it's called 11 Ways to Make Money Without Spending Any, and it is one of the most practical, tangible resources I have ever created in my business. It is so valuable, in fact, that I only have ever offered this as a paid product or as a bonus for one of my other paid products. So only people who've worked with me before have had access to this free resource. But I'm making it completely public, completely available for you over with the show notes of today's episode at tashcorbin.com/331. Now, this resource is made up of 2 parts. Part 1 is a beautiful workbook that you go through first and foremost, and it unpacks each of the 11 ways to make money without spending any, helps you decide whether it's a right fit for what you're selling and your model of business and what your strengths are right now. You go through the full workbook, and when you've done that, you'll select your one strategy that you're going to focus on first. And each strategy then has a video training that walks you through how to use that strategy to bring in an instant $500. And I've focused on $500 because it feels like a really doable amount of money. It doesn't create a bunch of barriers between you and making that money, but people have used this resource and made $5,000. Someone even made $14,250 in 2 weeks using one strategy from the 11 Ways to Make Money Without Spending Any program. So as I said, this is completely free and it's available for you with the show notes of today's episode over at tashcorbin.com/331. The only thing I ask for in return is that when you grab this resource, you will get an email from me. And in that email, I ask you for some feedback and your experiences or ahas from using this resource. And I would love if you could keep an eye out for that email and send me a reply. This really helps me to tailor podcast episodes and further free resources that I create to your specific needs, your specific business. And I am in a big research focus in my business at the moment. So if you could please keep an eye out for that email and make sure that you give me a reply to, even if it's just one of the questions that I ask, I would absolutely adore and appreciate that. And that will be the most amazing reward for me for sharing this juicy, practical resource with you, absolutely free. So make sure you go and grab it at tashcorbin.com/331. And until next time, I cannot wait to see you shine. Would you like more tips, tools, and resources to help you grow your heart-centered business? Head to tashcorbin.com today.